The whole building, I think. Well, tell them who we are, Bob.
Hey folks, welcome to the Bob and Ronnie Show. Coming to you from La Follette, Tennessee here on a Tuesday afternoon. We're just tickled to death to see you. Hope you'll stay tuned with us the whole time. We might say something that you can understand. So,
and we might not, too.
And then again, probably not.
Well, what you been into?
Well, it's been good sleeping weather at night.
Boy, I reckon I had to turn the heat on this morning.
I guarantee you. Yeah, this is the kind of mountain weather that I like, but you know, it's going to cause problems.
Well, Al Gore must be speaking somewhere in Tennessee.
Al Gore is already blaming all this cool weather on global warming.
Yeah.
see, he must have had some refrigeration people in his background because he realizes that it takes hot to make cold. So he says we're in for another period of global warming. In fact, the record low dating back to 1884 was broken here in Tennessee in Knoxville Sunday night.
Hello. Ain't that something? Well, they was talking about all that record heat out west a while back, and I mean, this is just the other side of the coin.
Right, that's right.
You know, we had the earliest frost last year that I ever remember.
When was it?
First week of September.
Yeah, that's what I know.
And before that, the earliest frost I remember was the 19th of September, and that was in 1975 or 6. I guess it's 76, September 76. And yeah, it was September 76, and that was also the winter they had 19 feet of snow up in Buffalo, New York, and they panicked the people because we were going into a new glacial period because of the pollution. And they were actually talking about sprinkling carbon dust, ground up coal, on the poles to melt the ice to warm the earth.
In other words, we don't have enough carbon.
Yeah.
Well, you know why? Al Gore has soaked it all up.
Well, they wanted it to turn black, see, so they wanted it to be darker so it absorbed more heat and melt more water. We were in dire straits. Well, that didn't work out too good, and they had right then an idea of using the environmental movement to take over the economy, but they couldn't get the weather to cooperate, so they invented global warming when it started warming up a little, and even that wouldn't cooperate, so they come up with climate change. They also, if you ever hear anytime there's a tornado or a hurricane or a tsunami, they even blame tidal waves on the weather.
Yeah.
But anytime there's something like that,
the tsunami occurred as a result of an earthquake.
Yeah, and the earthquake is obviously because of all that there fracking.
Right. Yeah, there you go. That's what. They wasn't even fracking back then, was it?
I don't know, but here's the thing about it. That right now, if it's too cold, it's because of climate change. If it's too hot, it's because of global warming. And if it's a bad weather, it's climate chaos. And all this is because of the unsettled effect of too much carbon in the atmosphere.
Right.
Although there's been more carbon in the atmosphere previous to this, and looks like somebody in St. Louis is on strike for higher pay at Long John Silver's, I guess.
Yeah, the fast food restaurants and around New York City, I believe, are striking to. They want their minimum wage is $7.50. They want the minimum wage to go to $15 an hour, and they said they cannot make a living at $7.50 an hour.
They don't need to be trying to raise families on a McDonald's salary anyway. They ought to use McDonald's just to get enough ahead to go to school and make something themselves. They can't go to school.
That's
I mean,
what it
they don't,
should
maybe
be.
they can't be brain surgeons, but they can learn welding or carpenter's assistant or something.
Sure, and that's exactly what the fast food should be all about. You know, I just can't understand why they don't realize that not only if they go to higher wages, it means the restaurants are going to mechanize more. They're going to cut down on the people. They're going to cut down on the benefits, whatever they might be, in some way, to stay on the plus side of the profit margin.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just killed the goose that's laying the egg is all there is to it. Let me see if I can pull up something here. Po folks, Bill Anderson. Now I want you to play a little bit of this and listen to the way it starts off.
Now it's time for our guest to come back once again, and this boy has written many, many wonderful songs.
That don't look like
and his
Barack Obama.
latest one, I think, is one of his best. Maybe it's just because it's kind of new and we haven't heard it as much as the other, but we want to get him to sing it for us right now. Bill Anderson and Po-Po. So here.
There's a whole lot of people looking down their noses at me, 'cause I didn't come from a wealthy family. There was 10 of us living in a 2-room shack.
Now, did you hear what he just said?
Huh?
Did you hear what he just said?
Why?
I mean, I like Bill Anderson. I like his music. I like his songs. But here's a guy writes this song about being poor folks and the rich people living next door and all that. But he starts out as saying, there's 10 of us living in a 2-room shack. And Daddy farmed, but the only thing he ever raised was us. Well, here's the thing about it. If you can't afford to have 10 young'uns, you ought to sleep somewhere else. You don't need to. You got no excuse for being poor if you've got 10 young'uns, or well, 8 young'uns, I guess, counting Granny and counting Mom and Dad. That'd leave 8 young'uns. 8 young'uns, and you wonder why you poor?
Well, but you know, back when I came along and you lived in the country, the more children you had, the better off you were.
Yeah, but you had somewhere to work.
Oh, yeah.
These people, I mean, if you listen to the song, I just heard that day, and I got to thinking, that's just the way. I mean, that was in the '60s, and that was an interesting song. And he's holding up the poor old country people and all that. And people still had the mindset that a whole lot of kids is good for work. But then he goes on talking about living there, ain't got no property, and got 10 young'uns in a 2-room shack, and a rich man next door, and they wonder why they ain't got nothing. They ain't got nothing because they mismanaged. That's why.
Right.
I mean, I don't care. You ought to figure out where them young'uns are coming from after 3 or 4.
Right. Well, you know, the people were so misguided and uninformed back then that they actually thought it was something in the water that was causing them babies.
It ain't been that long ago, Bob.
Huh?
It ain't been that long ago.
Right. But you know, it never was anything in the water. It was something in the air.
It was? What was that?
Feet.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you need any concrete, I have to recommend Dixie Concrete. They got the best concrete that's ever been devised. It polishes out just like marble.
It's got to be good concrete. They run up and down Demery Road there like they own that road, but they're on their side of the road
I tell you
now.
what we ought to do, we ought to go in the monument business.
You think so?
Yeah, and where these guys are going out and buying this big high-priced marble and stuff, we can use Dixie Concrete and polish it out and build them for a third.
Well, sure you can. Well, they could sell them for a third less too if you know what the markup is on those things.
I know, but the rest of the story is that we wouldn't even have to carve them. We'd just set the numbers down in the mold and the letters and stuff in reverse, you know.
Right.
And just pour it full, and then we'll polish it up and send it out. We wouldn't be much work to it.
Maybe we ought to get
We could do angels and Buddhas and everything.
Is that right? Yeah.
Dixie Concrete, if you need any good concrete or any concrete
And by
product.
the way, I got a Manova, Jewish Manova. It's the old tin candle thing up there that I thought might possibly have been silver when I bought it, but it turned out to be white brass.
So what are you getting to? You got stuck or you want to
I got
sell?
for sale, and if you
If there's any Jews listening that need a new candelabra,
or if you want to save some of your money from buying them beagles, you can come down and buy this from Manova from me.
where they stole it?
I don't know. Well, the guy I bought it from, and he bought it off from a lady who said she had it for 45 years.
Is she Jewish?
Huh?
Was she Jewish?
I didn't ask him that.
That radiator out of that truck I bought from you, what'll it bring for scrap?
The radiator out of that truck, I'm gonna guess probably $20.
Okay. I just wondered.
I'm gonna guess. I don't remember. I thought it was 76,
77.
77. That's copper, copper aluminum, or just copper.
Just copper.
Yeah, it might bring a little bit more. Why is it bad?
No, it's out there against a tree. I put a new one on it Saturday.
Huh?
I put a new one on it Saturday.
Was that one bad?
Yeah, it was rotten and it's starting to leak. And I ordered me one last week, and I drove down here Saturday and it had spilled its guts out there, and I just put it on there.
You already got it all?
Oh, it done changed it.
Huh?
Done changed it.
Okay.
Changed it Saturday.
I'll weigh it out and see why.
I had it, well, it's at home, but I had it, I had the radiator bought, but I didn't intend to put it on till, I got the leaking worse. Well, it got the leaking worse, so I changed it. I put a new one on. It cost me $111 for a new radiator,
Right.
but it's aluminum and plastic.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Well, it probably lasts a pretty good while.
As long as I will.
That one's lasted somewhere in the neighborhood of 36, 37 years.
It wasn't worth fixing. It was rotten.
Right.
It just brittle.
You know your buddy that has always done radiators, he's still doing them.
It used to be over here?
I know he's over off of...
used to be over here.
Yeah, off Toe String.
But fracking does that. It ends at $4.
Fracking, right.
Yeah. Let's see what they got to say.
People want to kill us? Jack? So where is our president in all this? Is he busy building a windmill powered by unicorn flatulence? And what about green celebrities? Goofballs like Yoko Ono and Rosario Dawson demonize fracking, ignoring the positive impact it's had on millions of Americans. That's because the people that fracking benefits most, Yoko and Rosie, really don't care about. Obama should hail shale like the second coming of kale, but instead shuns the oil deposits.
You know, as far as using modern technology like fracking, that sort of thing, people resist it and resist it and resist it. But you can come out with some harebrained scheme as far as economics and social matters are concerned, and they'll jump on it and take it up, even though there's absolutely no way it would ever work.
Well, they're already one of the what's his name? Saudi Arabian sheiks is one of the family is warning them that they better start diversifying their economy, because this new shale oil that's coming online is going to take away their monopoly.
Right.
And
that's good.
Yeah, I know it.
I'd be worried about damage to the wells, to the water supply.
But
legitimate concern. But they just had a study done, and the study indicated it's pretty healthy. Yeah, that there's no benefit.
Well, look.
Oh, now I've come up with a pretty valid reason, I think, why black people are so concerned over, say, Trayvon Martin or any black person getting killed by a white person.
Well,
I've got it figured out. It's like the Muslims. You can go into a Muslim country, and if you kill a Muslim, boy, they're going to try to blow your whole country up because you're a non-believer and you killed a Muslim. Because they want to save all the Muslims to kill themselves, you know, with all these car bombs and everything to blow it. Well, black people the same way. They don't want no white people killing black people because they want to save them to kill themselves.
Target practice, you mean?
Yeah. They want to save it to kill themselves. You know, we've gone over it before, but about 93 out of every 100 black people that are killed by black people, and you know, they failed.
Well, here's the thing. The reason that who is this guy?
By the way, he does own, I think, something like 17 or 18% of News Corp, so he's really a great guy.
In this country, well, President Obama.
That's that guy right there.
Yeah.
That's that sheik that was warning them.
Right.
Fracking will end U.S. oil dependency from the Middle East. Yeah.
Right.
But here's the thing. The reason that Trayvon Martin is such a big deal, and you know this, is because people like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson ramp it up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they ramp it up because if there's no division, they're out of a job.
Right.
That's all they're interested in.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Barack Obama is the most divisive president since Abraham Lincoln.
I think so.
He's never expressed any admiration for the American way, for our society, for the things that we've done that have been good. All he does is just stir up trouble because that's the way he gets his way. Now, he wants to get away from talking about these phony scandals, so he won't have to talk about them. He goes off on this here race bait and stuff. Now, I don't know what he calls a phony scandal, but some of the mommies and daddies of the people that's been killed because of his policies, are not looking at it as phony scandals. And I'll wager that if there's somebody in his family got rubbed out by one of them there fast and furious gun-running guns, or had been at the Benghazi thing, he wouldn't have thought it was phony. But it's phony to him because he don't want to talk about it.
Well, that's true, and I wanted to have me a sign and go to down to Chattanooga today and hold it up while he spoke that says, "Mr. President, you are Washington." He keeps saying, you know, Washington is to blame, that Congress is to blame. You know, that's not true. It's his policies, his administration. The IRS is not a phony scandal. They intentionally targeted the conservative movement to try to keep them down. And during that period of time that the targeting was going on, the chief counsel and the other officials, appointed officials in the IRS, visited the White House 150-some times. And I think Hillary Clinton visited 3 times during that period.
Well, I'll tell you what, there ain't many people in the world that have a worse opinion of Richard Nixon than I do. Richard Nixon, he used his government thugs to intimidate his opponents, to take heat away from him, to cover up his shenanigans. Now, Nixon's biggest problem was he thought he was smarter and better than everybody else. Same thing we got now.
Right.
And I don't think he was out so much for personal gain. He just knew the way the world was supposed to be, and because he knew better than everybody else, he'd do whatever he had to do. He was also, he invented the EPA, and OSHA, and went on and on from there. He's the one, he got us off the gold standard. He did more to wreck conservatism than anybody. He's just like John McCain would have been if he'd have got elected.
McCain.
But all that said, talking about Nixon, I was really burnt out on the way he used his thugs to intimidate his opposition. But we've got a man, and the media, the news reporters were all over him for it because they pointed out how dangerous that was and how low down it was, as they should have. But you don't hear them out there beating their drums against Obama. And this IRS thing to use government thugs to keep down your opposition is what they do in Venezuela.
Yeah, sure. It's like, but somebody called him the head of a banana republic.
Well, that's what he wants, is a banana republic, and he absolutely hates his country.
I think he does also. And it's his policies, and somebody on this campaign trail that he's on now needs to point out that he is the problem. He's not the solution, that he is the problem.
Well, somebody needs to point out that the campaign's over. It's
not for him, it's not.
No. Right now he's working on getting him 2 more years of a Democrat House. He's going to work on that for 2014.
Right. Well, you take, they're spending $700 million to promote Obamacare. And you know where they're promoting it?
Probably
only in the swing states.
Oh, okay.
That's where they're spending the money. In North Carolina, they're not spending it in New York State. They're not spending it in California. Ohio, they're spending it in Ohio. They're spending this $700 million, which, today...
Well, they ain't no use spending it in Tennessee because we've got 2 Democrats for senators.
I know we do. Yeah, we need to get both of them out of there. We need to get Ironplank Corker out of there, and we need to get Benign, whatever his name is.
Lamar Alexander wrecked the education system in Tennessee.
Right. Did I hear right that he was sponsoring an Army Corps of Engineer regulation that you couldn't fish below any of the dams on the Cumberland River?
I don't know. That's new to me. I don't know, but I wouldn't doubt it.
I thought I heard that. I wasn't sure what I
Why?
Why?
Why? Why can't you fish? Why would they not want you to fish below the dam?
Huh?
Why would they not want you to fish below the
I
dam?
forget what environmental reasons he gave. Some environmental.
Well, he bought one of them Nissan Leafs to save energy. The old fool. Don't these electric car people know that you got to make that juice out of coal? You got to make it out of something. And wind and solar ain't going to do it.
They flew one of those green cars to England for one of the Beatles, and the fuel that it cost to fly it over there was more than that car would ever save in its lifetime.
Well, we have got some of the stupidest stuff going on, but it's not if you really stop and think about why it's happening. The people that set these things up know that it's not going to work, and they don't care. They've got a different agenda rather than saving the planet. They're wanting to save socialism, and they want to do away with private property. That's what it's all about, and they've done that. They've already done away with private property. The only thing we get to do is rent it from the county and pay taxes.
Right. Well, you came out with a pretty good idea the other night how you could put your solar panels in on about 6 acres of land.
I'm wondering why we ain't heard anything about
I
yet.
just wonder how come they haven't run down there and won't incubate us on that.
We ought to start a company. We could start a consulting firm.
Right.
And get some of that incubator stimulus, and
Right.
we go around and advise people how to do away with their taxes by just,
Right. Do that, yeah. This is supposed to be a reality show.
Yeah, it looks pretty real to me.
Yeah. Well, they just arrested both of them today.
Yeah, did they get arrested? I know they're talking about
I
it.
told them they were being booked in, and they booked them in.
Yeah.
And for making false applications for loans.
That's the IRS after my bet.
Did they say something about Tea Party or something?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering. Are they conservative?
I wonder how come the IRS got on them.
They must be conservative.
Right. Well, they found out, said that they were hiding a bunch of wealth and that they...
If we could get Chris Christie for president and John McCain for vice president, this country would be in wonderful shape, wouldn't it?
It'd be the worst thing in the world. I don't know who's worse, McCain or Christie.
If you get just disgusted with the world affairs that you're just feeling down and you really maybe need a little visit down to the Heart Center or something, you need to call up Vital Care
562-9370
and get you a ride to the hospital. They'll haul your hand in down there and treat you good.
Right, you know, the employees, you know, up Campbell County ambulance service, they're good people, just as good as you find anywhere. I do notice that because there's no bottom line, that they drive the biggest ambulance they got most of the time, and Vital Care drives the smallest.
It's probably got a television in it.
Yeah, the Vital Care drives the smallest one they have, you know. So.
Well, you know, government services are never managed the way businesses manage their affairs, because the incentive is to spend more, not less, and just the opposite of private, which is to spend less, not more.
Right. Well, you know, I can attest that Vital Care will give you tender, loving care from wherever they pick you up to wherever they drop you off.
They'll drop you off gently, too.
You don't have to worry about being like Franklin Bun Cannon coming out of the back of their ambulance. And they're going to get you there in the finest fashion, and they'll take you back when you get ready to go home. So give them a call, 562-9370. It's Vital Care Medical Transport. Privately owned, 40-some years of experience, does not cost the taxpayers of this county anything when you use their services.
And Digger down there in the middle of Sawmill Holler, poor old fella right in the middle of the road, Sawmill Holler. I got to go down there and see him, get me some propane.
Well, you know that you probably will be having some shock waves up here as a result of that propane factory down in Florida blowing up. You know, they had 55,000 cylinders down there, and
we might make some money on our cylinders.
Yeah, there you go. You know, I've told everybody, I said, don't worry about it. Digger's got enough cylinders to take care of you.
562-5444, right in the middle of the road in Sawmill
Holler for all your propane needs.
We highly recommend him.
Good people. Good people to do business with. Better get all your stuff tuned up, because global warming is going to freeze your rear end off this winter.
Yeah, you get you some of that propane put back, because you may need it for fall. We're going to have frost about second week of October this year. That's
when?
Second week of October. That's a month later than last year. But we ain't had much hot weather this summer.
Right. But you know, I'm glad it's cooled down.
Me too. I mean, I like cool weather.
Right,
I just wonder when we're going to have some warm weather.
Good old mountain weather. This is what you look for up in the mountains. It's about what you get in West Virginia if you're on the west side of the mountain. The sun don't come up about 11:30, 12 o'clock.
If you're on the east, well, okay.
But, you know, I got difficulties with my big truck again.
Yeah, I understand that transmission didn't last like it's supposed to.
It wasn't transmission.
Clutch didn't last.
Well, what happened, the way they put it in there and everything, it busted the slave cylinder out and something else, some other things, which I like about $75 worth of parts, plus a new clutch pedal at $104.
Clutch pedal?
Pedal and the thing, it's all one unit, and the back part of it is plastic, and all that busted out, you know.
It ain't the clutch then, it's the...
Clutch was good. It was the...
you don't have to pull a transmission, fix that.
Huh?
You don't have to pull a transmission, fix that.
We've already pulled it.
You didn't have to, did you?
Yeah, you had to because not only was the slave sale and everything busted out, there were some other things broke out as far as what moves the clutch.
You know, you might ought to sell that truck for scrap iron while you can still afford to get rid of it.
While it's still rolling, while it's still roll out there, yeah. I love to drive an old truck there. It's cool. Gets pretty decent fuel mileage. In fact, it hadn't used a drop of diesel fuel in about the past 2 or 3 weeks.
They won't if you keep them parked.
Well, I pulled my old tractor over to my mechanic, and that's where it broke down, was right in his driveway. But I got my parts from Napa.
Napa of the National Auto Parts local
right
division.
Across the street from IGA and La Poly, right on the corner there. They got access to probably over 250,000 parts from their warehouses, and then they got all kind of access to others. In fact, I ordered a head gasket for my 1957 diesel tractor, and it took them 2 days to get it.
562-9406 if you
Right.
need to call them,
That's
ask
the
them
number I
about
called.
some of their parts.
That's Napa Auto Parts. Good people to deal with. So how are the goats?
Well, they're mowing when they're supposed to.
Why?
They can't mow fast enough. They've got too big a yard.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, they sure cleaned that. I guess that's probably about 1.5 acres I had fenced. They cleaned it. They cleaned the clock on that.
Well, mine's looking good, but when they got more than they want, they picky on some of the stuff you'd like to have mowed.
Right.
I understand. Don't reckon there's anything in the world to eat a stickweed except that
Right.
one little old bug crawls around on it all the time. But I got some more. Something or other they don't like.
Yeah, I'm cleaning the path to put another fence around the area I need cleaned out.
You know, a guy ought to get him some wheels or weights or something and make him some portable posts and put him in a portable electric fence and just let him mow real good in different spots.
Right.
I want to let him run out this winter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Reckon they'll get enough to eat?
Yeah, I got enough up my place for mine to eat this winter. I guarantee you that. I can put them in 3 acres and they'd be belly deep in grass and weeds. Yeah, I'm gonna let move mine out too, you know. I about got it all fenced in where it couldn't go nowhere anyhow. And I give them enough feed where they hang around, where they can come back up and get a little feed when you come out there.
Well,
But goats are good animals to keep.
yeah, they are. And I don't have a bit of trouble getting them started. And
You had putting on new spark plugs in them.
I had putting on new spark plugs in them, and they don't burn a lot of gas.
Right.
I guess they make a little, but they don't burn any.
Probably. You might ought to kind of keep it down a little bit because the EPA gets you.
Yeah, I guess
all
so.
that bovine fumes that they're
This
putting
is
in.
not bovine.
I know it isn't, but
What
it's
is it? What's a
similar.
goat? It ain't a feline. It ain't a canine. What is it? A goatine?
I don't know what they are, but they're ruminating, aren't they? Don't they?
Yeah.
They were ruminating. They probably would be a bovine.
I thought you had to be a cow to be a bovine.
You may be right. I don't know. I never.
Well,
thought
you
about
could be right too. I didn't think it was based on their digestive pattern.
Digestive tract. Well, what would it be based on?
Bovine. Well, what's a canine based on?
Huh? There's a lamb. Isn't that a lamb over there?
Well, it may do. It says it covers cattle, bison, American buffalo, the water buffalo, the yak, the four-horned and spiral-horned antelope. Let's see if cows are bovine, horses are equine, and what are sheep and goats? From Webster's Revised Unabridged Dictionary, 1913, caprine, of or pertaining to a goat. From Webster's Revised Unabridged Dictionary, 1913, hircine, goat-like, or pertain to goat or goats. Sheep are ovine, and goats are caprine. The word capricious comes from caprine and is based on the impulsive and whimsical behavior of goats. Well, I'll swear. I'm glad I asked you that.
Yeah, that's right.
And if folks, you're getting
I've got
educated.
along all these years without knowing that.
Caprine.
But I mentioned the other night where this fellow lived out in a real marginal area of Arizona where there wasn't a whole lot of rain. And those goats, they got enough water, you know, for their to make their milk. But they go out there and they turn cactus and them old sagebrush twigs and everything and turn them into milk. And that's amazing.
Well, they tell me cactus is pretty good once you get past the splinters.
Well, yeah, and if you like to eat the worm.
Yeah, it's always good in the tequila, ain't it?
Right, yeah, yeah.
The worm costs extra.
Yeah.
Mescal.
And tequila is some potent liquor.
Mescal.
Yeah. Well, everything's kind of quiet here on the western front, I think, as far as I don't think the our government in the name of doing something good for everybody is creating any more problems right at the moment.
Well, they're just working on it. We just ain't found out about it yet.
Right. Oh, it'll come out. They have everything within their infinite reasoning. They'll come up with something that will be completely devastating to our county, our beautiful county.
Yeah. We've got too many cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
We need, what we mostly need is less politics and a little more work.
Right. Well, look like Dennis Potter would just go ahead and put him in a bunch of solar panels to get his money, you know, to pave the roads.
I just don't understand why I've not heard anything from them people. I thought that was just an absolutely earth-shaking suggestion.
Right.
And they went up there and put that there covering on that there Wild Bob and Ronnie
Community center.
Community Center. They could have covered that with solar panels. Just look at the money that have brought in. Of course, that's the city, that ain't the county. And then they're getting ready to. They're getting ready.
The sun don't shine in the city?
Guess not. Then they're getting ready to put a new roof on the city hall down there. Why in the world don't they cover it with solar panels?
Sure. Makes sense.
You never know. Well, I don't know hardly what to think about the situation. I've got a bunch of metal, and I've got a bunch of vinyl siding, and linoleum. I've got doors and windows. I've got practically anything you need, or access to anything you need to build a house. And there ain't nobody beating on the door to come get it right now. Of course,
You got 4 less boards that you don't even know about.
we're closed, but we'll be open tomorrow. What kind of boards?
Come off some pallets. I borrowed 4 Sunday. I meant to tell you about it yesterday, but I
That's a problem with them there board thieves.
Them board borrowers.
Board thieves.
Yeah, I came down. I got 3 right out here and 1 around here. I needed 4 boards.
What kind of boards are they?
They come off pallets.
The big long ones?
No, it wasn't really. It wasn't nothing. Wasn't over 40 inches.
No,
know.
well, we got plenty of them big long ones are little.
Yeah, I saw that big ball back there, and my mouth was just watering. That wasn't what I needed.
We've been trading them there pallets, and I don't mean them ones with all the boards on them there just stripped pallets,
Right,
for new 16-foot 2x4s.
right.
I mean, we got some dandy 16-foot 2x4s.
Well, that's good. There's people, I know you got them at the right price. If you're even selling them, are you selling them?
$5 a piece.
Huh?
$5 a piece.
Cheap
I mean,
enough.
they're number one 2x4s, 16-foot long.
I think they're about $7 something.
Yeah, plus tax everywhere else.
Right.
Ours is tax
And these
included.
are probably pine, aren't they? These pine? Or,
Pine, I think
yeah.
so.
I mean yellow pine.
I don't know what they are. But
Probably.
they're
Well,
dried.
I'll get we on them 4 boards I walked off with.
Yeah, it ain't good enough. You sell anything off of them?
I used them out my house.
Oh, I figured you made a table out of them to sell.
I used them out my house. And yeah, I meant to tell you, I couldn't find any anywhere. And I said, I bet you I know where some boards are.
I know a feller's got boards.
But I've got washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers. I've got furniture. I've got couches. I've got dressers, chest of drawers.
Chester's drawers.
Right, I've got china cupboards. I've got beds. I got a number of things, chairs, whatever you need. So, just come on by and see me. I got plenty of baby items too. So it's kind of
Got some grown-up items and some baby items.
I've already mentioned that I had that candelabra.
That's one of our Jewish Liberace
Yeah,
things, ain't
said that right. And Liberace, wasn't he a Jew?
No, he was Italian. I'd say he's Catholic. I'm not sure.
Was he?
Liberace is an Italian name. But you never know. Let's see. I can't spell it. Liberace.
Oh, in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Valentino Liberace. How about that? Liberace talked like this.
Well, his mother was named Zukowski, and his daddy was Liberace.
Zukowski, was that Polish? Or?
Sounds like it. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see. I don't guess it matters, but you asked the question.
Did what?
I said you asked the question. Let's see if we can figure out an answer. Let's see. Yeah. And it don't tell us. I don't guess it really makes any difference. Let's see. But that may be one of his candelabras, you know.
Yeah, it could be. I would say it probably is.
And that'd make it worth a whole lot more money. And they don't say nothing about him being Jewish.
Well, anyhow, I've got one, folks. So just come on up if you'd like a genuine Liberace candelabra. And I've got one of them old-timey pianos that I would throw in there with it.
Well, I guess that's fair enough. You reckon maybe we ought to, since we've run out of anything to talk about, you reckon we ought to call it a day?
Right.
Folks, tune in again this time or sometime next week. You can catch us here. It's always on standby. And also, tomorrow night, Wednesday, we're live on Channel 12 at 8 o'clock.
We're live on
and we'll be on UGG TV here live too at 8 o'clock. So, thank you, everybody. Happy trails.
Appreciate you. See you tomorrow.